Hello everyone, welcome to Modeling the Mats, and we are going to start something new today. For me, I'm going to do a video series on how to put together a model car. And what better way to demonstrate that by doing a whole video series and using my favorite muscle car of all time, the 71 Plymouth Hemi-Cuda by Revell. First things first, we're going to unbox this thing. I'm going to show you all the parts and the instructions. And yeah, we'll go from there. Anyway, here's the big reveal. This one here. Here's the box art. Anyway, comes in big old bag. It is molded in white. There's the tires. There's the glass and the headlight lenses. Here's the chrome sprue. Wheels, bumpers, valve covers, light trim, alternator, rearview mirror, and shifter. All in this one. There's the instructions. We'll get to that in a second. First things first, we will cut open the bag. Not cut, rip open the bag. What we have in the bag: hood, window louvers, shaker hood, or shaker intake, and the rear spoiler, and the shaker hood. The best hood option, in my opinion, from those years. Second sprue, we have front suspension, rear differential and drive shaft and leaf springs, cooling fan, intake manifold, front cover, and exhaust manifolds. And I believe that is the brake booster and master cylinder. Third sprue, we have seats, backs, fronts, rims, or inner part of the rim. The outer part is on the chrome sprue over here. Chassis, radiator, belts, not sure what those are, steering wheel, mirrors, and that's on that. Fourth sprue, we have interior, front bumper, cylinder heads, transmission and engine block assembly in 2 halves, and dash, and that is the back bumper piece / lower valence. And then the awesome part, the 71 Cuda body. Why is the 71 my favorite? Well, I can show you on this piece here. The grille has a shark tooth kind of design. That's the only year they did that, and to me it screams awesome. You can see it on the front of the box. That just looks cool to me. Nothing looked cooler back in the day. Also, the 71 has decals. They don't really show it too good on the cover art, but we shall take the decals, which are probably inside the instructions. There they are. These, that says Hemi. They go basically here. This whole back quarter panel is this big giant decal. It looks awesome. Now the color scheme I plan on doing for this one, that I see the vision as it were in my head, is going to be what they call triple black. And what I mean when I say triple black is it has a black interior, black paint, black decals. That on top of all the chrome trim on this car, I think it's really gonna pop and look really mean and nasty. And the shaker hood is also going to accent that. So that is the plan for this one. Now I'll show you the instructions. Revell instructions, typical. They always look like that. They're usually in a couple different languages. The very back panel is the decal placement that you can see. Alright, like every Revell, or every car model except for Tamiya. Alright, there's the paint chart. Tells you what every letter means, corresponding paint. I typically don't follow this to a T. I will Google image pictures of the car I'm building and go from there because I like stuff to be accurate. Alright, next page is the parts inventory, which is kind of handy and kind of not, because it's on here but the sprue is lettered or numbered. But if you wanted to know what part you are putting on, it'll tell you what the name of the part is. But if you're a car model guy, you probably already know just by looking at it. If you don't, that's why the part name and inventory is there. Alright, next page, more parts. Alright, now we're on to the good stuff. First step in most every car model I've done is the engine. It's very simple. Glue the two halves on, put the cylinder heads on, put the chrome valve covers on. Done. Next page, next step is the front cover accessory drive. Front cover, timing belts, cooling fan, exhaust manifolds, and then that assembly will go on the front of the engine along with the exhaust manifolds, upper intake, distributor, and carburetors. And then down here you'll glue it onto the chassis. And that's it. That's just the bottom view of it. Page 2, probably the interior / the wheel. Oh no. Page 2, put the wheels together. Simple. It'll tell you how to detail the rims. Then you down to the front suspension. Glue the wheels on the front. I typically say put the wheels on after I put the chassis in the car. It'll be one of the last things I do, just because. But they'll show you putting it on even before you glue it on the chassis. You can do it however you really want to do it. This is not set in stone. You don't have to do it this way. But next page, they got you putting the glass in. They got you putting the glass in this. You can do that. I typically do the body work last because I can't spray paint very well, and I airbrush at my buddy Matt's place. So I'll usually do the body work last, and then subsequently the glass last. So I will probably do it like I always do. Then they got you putting the radiator in, which is kind of nice. It goes in the body, not on the chassis. And then next you'll have you putting together interior stuff, all that stuff. And well, again, I'll Google image interiors of a black 71 Cuda and paint it like that the best I can and get it looking good. All right, next page after that. You glue the interior to the body instead of the chassis, which I can go either way on. I typically like it when you glue the interior to the chassis, then stretch the body over the whole thing. But this has you doing it the other way around. I don't know which is easier. Most of the time I glue that piece onto this piece first. But there's no wrong way of doing it. It's just whatever you like to do. This bit here, that's just a chrome light trim that goes in the back of the body. It's pretty nice that they do that instead of having it molded to the back of the body and then you have to try and paint it. And then that whole assembly will go into the body, and then you start putting together the bumpers around the body on the next page. You put the back bumper chrome piece in, and then the lower back bumper piece in, and then you'll go to the front and put together the awesome shark tooth grill, and then put that on there, and then the trim piece that goes on below that. And then you'll start working on the engine bay stuff that you can't do with it apart. So you'll put in typically a hose and the brake booster master cylinder after the fact, which is nice because most of the time you try and do that the other way around. You'll break it trying to put the body on it. And then you'll put the back window louvers on and the spoiler. And then side mirrors. I usually do the side mirrors dead last because those break off. No matter what type of super glue you use, they're gonna break off if you're not careful. So I typically do that dead last. And these actually have chrome pieces that go in the mirror, which is cool. So it actually has a mirrored finish, like a mirror. And put the shaker hood together, shaker intake together, 2-piece. And then you can put it on the engine, but I would highly recommend that you glue this to the bottom of the bottom of the hood. That way, when you open the hood, you can see the engine, because this will cover up most of the engine and all the cool stuff that you could do. So, plus, there's a good chance that when gluing the engine down, it won't be perfectly level. That way, what that means is when you glue this on top of the engine and then put the hood on, the hood might not sit right. So what I like to do is glue this to the bottom of the hood, and I'll pose it with the hood up most of the time anyway. So if the hood doesn't sit flat, no big deal, because a lot of times I have the hood open because I want to look at the cool stuff inside. And then that's pretty much it. It's not a super hard kit. It's my favorite car, and this will be my second one I'm building. I built my first one. I have 2 more in the stash, but the other 2 is a Nash Bridges 71 CUDA convertible kit that I'm going to do later, and then I have a 70 AAR CUDA, which is different. It does not have the cool grill. But yeah, this is video number 1, just unboxing, going through the parts with you, and then next video will be following the engine build section. So yeah, catch you all later, and as always, model on.